North of Lancaster, trains on the West Coast Main Line climb 860 feet to Shap before enjoying 30 miles of largely falling gradient to the station at Carlisle. On the 1st of May 1984, one such service, a Liverpool to Glasgow freightliner head code 4 Sierra 55, was heading through the night with its rear wagons unbraked, resulting from a failure to properly test the braking system prior to departure from Preston, where a report of dragging brakes was investigated. On board was a collection of dangerous chemical goods, including oxalinic acid and tetraethyl lead compound, an explosive petrol additive. After passing over Shap's summit, circumstances conspired to make matters worse. The coupling between wagons 5 and 6 became disconnected, leaving 5 wagons attached to the locomotive, whilst 10 others continued their descent, free-running towards Carlisle, where an early train was boarding. On duty that morning in Carlisle Power Signal Box was Bill Taylor, a signalman thankfully blessed with more than 40 years' knowledge and experience. Spotting irregular indications on his panel, Bill immediately recognised that the train had divided. He allowed the front portion to pass Upperby Bridge Junction and signalled the driver to stop in the station. The runaways, meanwhile, were diverted onto the empty and now defunct Carlisle goods avoiding line, preventing almost certain disaster.
It's a big call, and of course the supervisor will be sat on the back desk over there, and I've got no doubt that there was hurried conversations between them as to what to do, and you're in an extremely difficult situation as to make the right decision. So
there isn't a book to consult,
no,
is there?
But even if you'd had a book, you wouldn't have had time to look at it, basically. So, but your training as a signalman tells you what is the right thing to do there and then.
The wagons negotiated a sharp curve, passed under 4 bridges, and crossed Bog Junction and Rome Street Junction at an estimated speed of more than 60 miles per hour. Line speed was just 20. Then, at 5:42 a.m, residents were awoken by the sound of destruction as the runaways derailed, launching themselves and 2 bridge spans into the River Caldew. The clear-up took weeks.
Your father brought the rear portion through here, 264, round the goods lines.
40 years on, Mr. Taylor's sons and former colleagues gathered in the signal box to reflect on the calm, decisive actions of a man just doing his job, as Bill insisted when reporters called him a hero.
Well, I tell you what, he said, I never expected to be on the same page as Linda looks like. Having a local kind of knowledge, having worked, in some different signal boxes before the power signal box had opened, maybe that helped. Maybe he had an understanding of the speed it was likely to be kind of approaching Carlisle, the runaway section at. And as he said on news coverage, which I've watched numerous times since, he knew he had to do something quickly and there was going to be some kind of a mishap.
I knew he knew his job. As I say, he loved the railways. But I'm immensely proud of what he'd done. I mean, it was a hell of a decision to make. I don't know how long real time he had, but it can only have been minutes. So to make the decision to then, pull that button to alter the points, to send it into Denton, because he knew, as he said at the time, he knew it would come off, but it was the lesser of the 2 evils.
The 3 surviving spans of the bridge over the River Caldew were demolished in 2008. Artwork commemorating the events of May 1984 have been installed along the route of the former goods avoiding line, which now comprises part of the Cumbria Way. A plaque adorning the wall of a waiting room at the station acts as a further reminder. Although Bill succumbed to cancer a year after the accident, his actions early on that spring morning serve as a legacy for which Carlisle should be thankful.